Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Women of Community Banking podcast. We've got Ashley with us. Hi Ashley, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing very well. How are you?
Can't complain. Good. Tuesday morning, right? New week after May 2020, so can't complain. All good. Excited for Q4, I would say. Is starting, not
Yeah.
starting, but mid of Q4. So excited for that.
It is definitely the busy season with everybody doing budgeting and strategic planning for the new year. It's busy.
That's what keeps all of us busy, meeting credit unions and working with them. That's what life has been for the last couple of years. So Ashley, firstly, thank you for taking your time out to join us today. I really appreciate. Quick introduction: who Ashley is. Very unique career, right? I mean, Ashley has spent more than 2 decades with credit unions, starting with Trul. Spent almost 2 decades at Legacy. She was the chief operations and digital officer before she made a move, and right now she's with MDC Members Development Company. She is the chief operations officer for the last close to an year. She's about to complete an year, but new role that she's taken up, moving from the credit union world to the other side, with one single mission of fostering innovation and actually being close to execution. Right? I mean, let's go
Right.
create innovation and let's make it quicker. So that's a quick introduction. Ashley, if you want to add something, feel free.
That is a great introduction. Thank you so much.
I hope so. So let's maybe start this with the first question. Actually, you spent more than 2 decades in credit unions. In my opinion, you're a credit union veteran, having spent those many years, and now to the other side, to a consortium or to a group that helps in innovation, right? So how do you
Right.
feel that change? I mean, how did that change happen, and how do you like it?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for asking about the journey. So, as you mentioned, over almost 24 years in the industry, and nearly the majority of that, right? Over 22 inside credit unions. And so, the service at credit unions, as you know, is people helping people and living out that mission. And with a CUSO, the same mission exists in terms of people helping people, but it's us now helping our owners, and our owners are credit unions. So instead of the direct relationship with a member, it's now a direct relationship with a credit union and then helping them serve their members. So I still have that connection back to the fundamental philosophy of why credit unions exist and why our industry is relevant. And so it's such an honor to be able to do it now for the more of a nationwide support.
Absolutely right. So how has your experience as a former credit union exec, right, shaped the way what you're doing right now? You're leading operations. You're doing very strategic work at MDC. So how has that shaped?
Sure. Well, at MDC, our owners are credit unions. And so I have the privilege to oversee owner engagement, which means I have the opportunity to talk to our credit union owners about their strategic needs, what's keeping them up at night, where MDC can support them. And I really can relate. And I think that is where the connection comes in for me because as a former, credit union executive, I can understand it is strategic planning season. It is budget season. They are putting out so many fires. And while innovation is critical to the success of their credit union, it's also a portion of what they do. And so when we can help support that, we can do it with scale and pace that's hard for them to do on their own just because of the sheer volume of what's on their plate.
Yeah, I think you took the right call of moving to the other side because we need people like you. We need people.
Oh, thank you.
I'm serious. We need people who've spent like decades in credit unions and believes the mission and vision of fintech. That's like table
Yeah.
stakes, right? So that's very important. And
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for what you do for the movement, Ashley. I mean, people
Thank
like
you.
me will always be, cheering for you on the sidelines. I mean, you're doing amazing work for sure.
Well, thank you. I'm honored and humbled, always have been, just in a service role, just to know you can make a difference and you can make a positive impact on a life. We saw that every day in the credit union space. We can make positive impacts when we were providing someone a loan, and that loan took care of, putting them in a home or getting them a car to get to work. And now I'm just doing on a different scale where we're helping credit unions help their members do things and do it in a way where we can compete. And part of our purpose at MDC is to future ready credit unions, because there is so much happening, as you know, that's disruption. And us being able to support our credit unions in that disruption is so critical. And it's just such an honor to be able to do so.
Absolute pleasure. I echo the same thing. That's the reason I believe I left working for the larger banks and came to credit unions and the community banking ecosystem just for this reason, Ashley. So it's really very aligned, right?
Yes.
Now, my next question is about innovation, because that's the reason you came to this side, and to collaboration and innovation at a scale that to nationally. So, what do you think credit unions need to do differently, right, to truly accelerate innovation and stay competitive? Because we are not competing against credit unions and credit unions. We are competing against the world. We are competing against the top 10 banks. We are competing against fintechs, neobanks, Chimes, Revoluts of the world. It's getting tougher day by day, right? So, what do you think? This is.
Yeah, I think our opportunity is to leverage our competitive advantage, which is we work together. So there's an industry that's willing to share, and there's so many bright minds and future thinking leaders when we come together. And in MDC, we come together in a network and we share. It allows us to recognize really what are those critical imperatives that that we need in the industry to move forward and move them quickly. And I think at credit unions, sometimes it's hard alone just because legacy systems, legacy processes, and then when you can come together and have that power of collaboration, you can see where you can create innovation, you can compete and grow quicker. And I think at this point, recognizing the speed of innovation and the speed of change is one that credit unions have to come together to make happen.
Yeah, so that's very relevant, and I think we need to innovate for sure. I mean, innovation is a very broader arm, but the mindset needs to change, right? I mean, it's good that we're not for profit. I absolutely agree. We are there to help the community, but at the end of the day, we have to keep our shops running. Unless we do that, we are not doing any good to any members. Members don't want an experience of 10 minutes to open an account. No. If required, let's be a profitable entity, right? And let's get ducks in row, for the lack of better words, right? So to your point, yeah, I agree. Now let's talk about MDC a bit, right? So if you want to talk about, obviously MDC does not need introduction, but what is the mission and vision of MDC, and what does MDC do right now to help credit unions be successful in this mission?
Sure. Yeah. Our mission is to help our owners compete and grow through innovation and collaboration. So every day we spend with our owners, helping them, again, identify where they have strategic needs that we can support through new innovations. And those new innovations might come forward with early access to new tech and fintech. They might come forward with new R&D and R&D opportunities. They might come forward with a solution partner that's in the market that can help them. And then our vision is to be the premier leading partner for innovation. So those are kind of our mission, our vision, our why, again, is to future ready our credit unions, because just remaining relevant is so critical. The industry is needed. The service we provide is important, and what we can do our part to help with the innovation. And to your point, just driving the pace of change, because there are a lot of disruptors around us that can do it if we're not careful faster. And so we need to help do our part. The way that we're showing up right now to help our owners is we've heard from them, and they have a lot of needs around business banking, especially the onboarding experience. Because to your point, there's others doing it faster. And so we're working right now on solutions to help in that space. We've heard about what deepfake is doing to the basic operational excellence, because deepfake can show up in contact centers. It can show up with people who apply for a job, but they're not really a human applying. So we're providing solutions to help in deepfake. We've also obviously understood the need around AI. I mean, that again is a broad topic, but our
Yeah.
owners have opportunities with us to look at whether it be advisory services or even sandboxes just to try some things, because sometimes that's maybe the scariest step is trying some new solutions and making sure they actually work before you implement them, and making sure they integrate within your systems and they don't break something else. And so we have a lot of work around AI. And then the most recent one we've done, where we have our owners as well as project partners like True Stage Ventures and Circle, is in the stablecoin and tokenized deposit space. And just coming together to say, what do we need to do, again, as an industry, to take care of our credit unions with what is happening with stablecoin and tokenized deposit, and where can we support in that space? So those are the things active and underway, and so exciting, because to your point earlier, every one of them helps lift up our industry and move us forward and remain competitive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of my favorite topics. I think that was a discussion that was very near and dear in my 2020. What is the future of stable coins? From one of my podcasts, we talked about what is the future of stable coins. Different discussions. So I don't know if you know Rob Kitts, Chief Strategy Officer of ChartPay. Me and Rob were having similar conversations in my 2020 that how can we get the credit unions together and talk about stable coins at one single place and not fragmented a discussion here and a discussion there, right? So we need something of that sort for sure. Make this, I mean, go ahead. But again, a question that do we need stable coins? Because stable coins are usually, for cross-border payments, that's what the most prominent use case is, right? But do we have that volume? But yeah, I mean, let's not digress into stable coins in the conversation, but I always get carried away with these topics, right? So let's stick to the podcast.
Okay. Well, I think to your point, it is important, and where we're coming together, and this is kind of what MDC does, is bring that power of collective, is bringing the 90 plus credit unions together with the largest in the country, really saying, what is the strategy? What is the business case for our industry, and business cases that we can use? What technology do we need? And then where do we have advocacy support? And so it's got a lot of work streams to it, because it has a lot of importance, everything from the advocacy and legislation to the execution of the solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we need these kind of collaboratives to become a consortium and do it. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
So next question would be around data and AI, because that's what I do for a living, maybe. So what role do you see, data, AI, whatever you call, or analytics, have a role in the next wave of credit union innovation?
Yeah. So, of course, being at the credit union, data was an everyday conversation. I don't think any credit union's short on data. I think it's just figuring out how to best synthesize the data to create data-driven decisions. You can often get kind of analysis paralysis with just the magnitude, but we have such a gift in the credit union industry of data. And so figuring out how to mine it, how to mine the right information, how to be willing possibly to share it even across the industry in like an owner network without any type of privacy concerns, but sharing data that can help us all recognize and lift up our consumers, and then ultimately support our owners and our members through better solutions and products that come from the data that we see. So I think there's an opportunity maybe for some better data sharing even across the industry to help. And then what if members were ever willing to help us, give us some more willingness to participate in data and data sharing, because we could learn more if they're open to sharing. So I think there's a lot around the future of data and where we can work together, but we also can work with our members to figure out how to best serve them. Personalization comes up all the time, but it's figuring out how to personalize in a way that gives them, helps them make those smart choices when they're looking at their financials, helps positively impact their lives, and meets them where they want to be met too.
Yeah, that's true. So you've been on both the sides, credit unions and now at MDC. What do you think credit unions underestimate the most about change management? Because change management is a huge thing, be
It
it
is.
transformation across data to AI to stable coins or any other change that's coming in, right? So it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. So my master's was in a change management curriculum, if you will, for organizational development. And so you can hear a lot in the academics about just the time it takes to change. And, and you may underestimate that when you walk in to make a change because you feel like you set up the why, you've done the communication, you've got a change communications plan and all the change management ready. But you have to ensure that the humans who you're bringing along in the change are along the journey with you. And I think what I've seen through many years of many types of changes, culturally and just transitions, is just the criticality of constant communication. And I think you can underestimate the importance of checking in on people, communicating the why, and just continuing to give updates, because so often that change curve, everybody's in a different place in the change curve and that change transition. And it takes a long time. And the larger the organization, the longer it takes to turn the ship, if you will.
Sure.
And so I just think patience and recognition of the emotional component of it is so critical for success.
Absolutely. So this was a very well thought about answer because people struggle with change management and no one has that silver bullet to go and make it happen, right? Every one
No,
of us is struggling. Absolutely.
yeah.
Uh,
Patience and grace is often my phrase for a lot of things.
I'm sure. Sure. Can you talk about some recent innovation or maybe collaboration of at MDC where you really feel proud and you feel good about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so honored to be here. I joined in February, and one of my first weeks on the job was an owner meeting, and that is an event where our owners come together to network, to share, to learn and grow from one another and from industry leading experts and partners alike. And just seeing the power of the room with some of the best and brightest in our industry, wanting to work together, again, all sharing with one another. That meeting helped us see what we needed to do this year. So all the projects that I mentioned earlier, the business banking, stablecoin, deepfake, have all launched in just a matter of months because we've heard from our owners and we're supporting them. So what makes me so proud is we're listening and we're serving, and ultimately we're delivering. And that's what our owners deserve. It's what our members deserve in the credit union space. Our members deserve for us to deliver so we can help support them, because if we don't, somebody else will. And the same goes for MDC. Our owners deserve to see us execute. And so it's got to be innovation for impact. It can't be just, to your point, kind of innovation that's something exploration, but it's innovation for impact and really driving results and solutions that help solve the problems and the needs of our owners. And so I'm so proud of the work we're doing and the momentum we have. And I think now that the opportunity for us is just to keep going and going faster and, and offer more, because that's what the industry's going to need.
Yep, absolutely. So one parting question, actually, in the interest of time,
Sure.
is on a personal note, you'll always be a credit union person forever because you've been in credit union for 20 plus years. Doesn't matter where you move, right? So what continues you to inspire about the credit union mission, right? So what still makes you wake up in the morning and do the same thing every single day? Because you and I, both of us, believe in the credit union mission and we are very deeply rooted into it. So what's
Yeah.
your, I would say, inspiration?
Yeah, for me, it is knowing that I have an opportunity to help make a difference. And it's just that positive impact, because we can do so much at a global level that before I was honored, and I'll always be honored and humble for the work I could do in a community. But now I can support the broader community of the credit union industry. and just knowing the impact of where we can serve, millions of consumers and, over 80 credit unions. It's just truly an honor to know every day I can wake up and serve. And I will always be a service servant in terms of the industry and where I can help. And this is just a new way to do it.
Actually, this was great. This was great discussing about your mission, vision, as well as what you're doing at MDC. I would like to thank you again for today's time that you spent with us. We really appreciate it, and thank you again.
Thank you. It's been a delight. I really appreciate you and the opportunity.